Hello. We're looking for the numbers. 3, 2, 1. Anyways, we're back. Yay. Another Monday at 2. Look at this. Love it. Have fun. So thank you for joining us, the Rabell Realty Group podcast with Kristen Rabell and
Rebecca Johnson.
Yes. So we have lots to talk about today. A lot of events coming up. Obviously, it's December. It's holiday season. We'll have more about the holidays. Today, in our second half, we'll talk about the benefits of home ownership. But right now, let's get into that Monday market moment.
All right, let's see what's happening. So today we're going to take a quick look at Marion, and we're looking at October versus November. Sorry, I answer the phone too much, so my voice is just permanently like hoarse right now. All right, so October, there was 505 closings versus November, they had 416 closings. So a decent drop off, almost 100 homes short. But activity-wise, in November, they had 114 hit the market and 384
You mean
pending.
411?
I don't know. How much did I say?
114. She also reads too much, apparently. What's in that cup? I don't know. I'm questioning you. I look up, I was like, 114. No.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just,
411.
I read it backwards. It's my old dyslexia.
Right. Well.
So, anyways, 416 closed versus 505. Definitely interesting. I'll be curious to see what happens in December because usually
and all of a sudden this week or two before, like right when our last podcast was on, we've noticed a huge spike in buyers coming back. So a little bit of buyer confidence and maybe just finally deciding what it is. If you have to buy a house or you want to buy a house, go ahead and buy it. Nothing's changing.
I think because I'm looking at Hillsborough stuff, and I do think that the election, like whenever there's an election, people are nervous anyways. But, you have to remember the ones that closed in October were August and September contracts. And so then the ones closing in November were probably September and October contracts because I see a noticeable difference in the Hillsborough County area as well. You went from 835 in October to 673. 673. I don't know why. I know.
Well,
it really is just water. It would never be vodka. Anyways. So, I mean, a noticeable difference. So I'm going to say it probably had to do with interest rates were climbing at that time as well. And then, of course, just the elections are generally
and I'm not going to get too nervous about this huge number difference because it is the holiday season, and at least in our areas in Florida, this is the time of year that you do see a drop off. And October is usually a spike, and then it may or may not go down in November. But I think you've hit the nail on the head with everything you've said. And so I'm definitely curious to see how December will look compared to November.
Ooh, does that mean in January
and then
we get to do like a year-end review?
That would be great. Let's do it. We got that.
So active, you have 545 in Hillsborough and pending 566.
There we go. So let's check out Alachua County.
All right. So Alachua.
Some people say.
Yes, Alachua. That's how I can tell.
Alachua. You're not from here.
Yeah, I know. Or there's another funny way they say it. I can't think of it. So October, 223 closed versus November, 174. Only 101 on the market and 143 pending. I mean, we've definitely noticed that less is coming on. So it'll be, I don't know what's wrong with me today.
That's all right.
Let me get it all out. So, you and I talk all the time, and we have some of our realtors that we talk with, in addition to other people around the area that we talk about with the market. And a lot of people, we all agree that it is transitioning. A lot of people feel like our area and parts of Florida will be saved from the impending downturn of the market. Right. Obviously, some of the markets we serve are seeing that. Like I will say, Hillsborough is definitely seeing a price reduction.
And again, you think about it, they spiked up. Yes, it's not spoke up. It spiked up really, really high during the pandemic, way higher than the others.
Yeah.
So they're going to be the ones who are hit because that's usually
what having
typically happens.
A low inventory in the area, I think, is going to be what helps and
grace.
Also hurts us. I mean, so That's just a thought.
It's just going to keep us from like hitting the rock bottom that some other areas will hit. And I think it's funny when you share information with me from articles, there's always this doom and gloom about Gainesville. But then when you actually read the article and look into the numbers, they're kind of missing the market. They're not hitting it at all because we're so low. Like there was an article that you sent and it was about how Florida is going to be really hit with the foreclosure market, and it was like 21% in Gainesville were foreclosures. But what they weren't telling you was that 21% are the houses that started the foreclosure process as long ago as 2017, and then because of that moratorium, they were not foreclosing for 2.5 years, and so now they're finally getting back on the docket. Some of them have actually probably Alachua, that's what it was. There we go. Thank you. That's what we were saying. Alachua, and Alachua. But Alachua, I'm going to go off on a side note, is how the actual people who live there and have lived there for a long time say it. So
doesn't make it right. It's just
doesn't make it right. That's how I say it. Country folk. Anyways, but back to the fact that now they're back on the docket for having these foreclosures, and some of them, and those were actually pre-foreclosures, people missing their Liz Pendens, missing their payments, and they may have fixed it that by then. So these numbers I think it's just a scare tactic to get us all excited about holding off buying because all of this other inventory, that's foreclosure inventory, is going to come back on. And we spoke about this morning. A lot of people think they're going to get a great deal with a foreclosure, but really because everybody else is waiting for one and people think they're going to get it for less than the market value, that's not actually true. And that wasn't even true back before the pandemic because people are always looking for foreclosures. And when you're finding a foreclosure and you're winning that bid, you're usually making a really solid bid close to the market value, and you know your numbers, so you know what you're going to have to put into it.
The only people that got a good deal on foreclosures were the ones that got in the very beginning when they first started, and the banks caught on pretty quick. They found that if they put a little bit of money into it, a little bit of paint, a little bit of carpet, people were all over them.
Yeah, so I'll never forget. And this was in probably 2012, 2013. I was showing houses in a neighborhood and there was a resale, no foreclosure, and it needed everything. And next door was this pristine, new carpeting. I know carpeting, but still new carpeting, new countertops, new roof, new AC system. And it was a foreclosure. And so that foreclosure ended up selling higher than the resale. So you really have to think about that. Don't get too stuck in the weeds with I'm going to wait for the foreclosures, because as we're going to tell every time, any time is a great time to buy, because if you wait, it's going to be more expensive or a higher rate or a different scenario 2 or 3 years later. So, all right. Let's go. Get into the next one.
Light the Village.
Yeah, coming up as early as, this week already.
I know.
Isn't it? So it's
the
Friday
second
night.
week of December. Yeah.
Yes, Friday night, sponsored by Landmark Mortgage Planners. So thank you, Landmark. We'll be open 5 to 9. We might be there after, but we might be out and about, visiting Santa ourselves and getting on that train ride that they'll have, getting some cookies and milk from the other companies.
Oh my goodness.
There's, obviously other things to imbibe and eat there. So come visit us at Light the Village and enjoy all the fun there as well. One of our favorite events in Gainesville.
And, there we go. Top producers for November.
Let's celebrate our top producers of November. Woohoo!
Take it away.
Oh, check that out. Are we surprised, Jackie? Jackie, congratulations. Number 1, always doing well. The hustle queen. Great job. And Sky, another not surprised. Look at that.
Yay,
good job.
Sky.
And Trey.
Hey, Trey.
Who's off and on sometimes, but you can tell when she's hustling, she's back on. So congratulations to all 3 of you.
Good job.
Top 3 producers at Rabell Realty Group for November. Right. Well, as we were saying, this year or this time of year is the time for tons of events. So we have one slide for this because there are so many. And as you can see, most of them are on the same nights because there's only so many Fridays. So, yahoo, go Jackie. So let's see. Alachua, I'm going to actually skip the 10s, right? So that's this Saturday. Alachua, it looks like Chiefland, High Springs, Keystone Heights, Melrose and Ocala all have their holiday extravaganza or parade or Christmas festival. So it depends on which one you want to go to, which one you haven't been to, which one you love going to traditionally, or which one maybe you're closest to. But on December 10th, there's a ton of them. And actually, the Merry Melrose Parade is at 10 a.m. So you might be able to hit Melrose at 10 a.m. and then Alachua at 2 p.m. and then the rest of them going back to Melrose. It looks like Bonnie Melrose and Mary Melrose. So you could go back to Melrose or some of these other places for the parades. And actually, Ocala, we talked about that.
The drive-through Christmas.
The drive-through Christmas, and we did that this weekend. It was really cute. We drove all the way there, and we got our hot chocolate, and we played Christmas music, and there was the 12 Days of Christmas as you drive in.
Aww.
And you can actually turn around and do that part for free, which takes forever, but it's really cute. And there's all these lights and everything around as well. Or you can go in and park. You pay $30, and you can go around. There's bounce houses. There's a hot chocolate. There's like a little walk around that you can learn about, the Christmas spirit, and, you can read all the little placards and see all the lights. They don't have Christmas music playing, but you can always take your phone like we did and play Christmas music. Ton of people around. There was also food trucks and things like that. So it was really cute.
Very good.
Went there. And you went to the holiday lights at the hospital.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I saw the holiday lights were out. So, they were looking good. I think their tree lighting, I think, is maybe Saturday, because they haven't. Yeah, I know they
don't
always
even have that on there, and that was we got this from a list that's always on. Let's go back to that because we want to talk about the 17th also, which is next weekend. So we have the Melrose Parade. Okay, so Melrose is having parades both weekends, which is great. So you don't have to miss that. Newberry, and it looks like the Newberry Main Street Parade, and then the Newberry Christmas is also the 17th. So you might be able to do Melrose the 17th and possibly part of Newberry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
North Florida did theirs on December 3rd.
Okay.
So that was last weekend.
That was last weekend. But it's open now, so you can walk around. We heard it might be closed to the public, but Rebecca got in, so you can sneak in too. Anyways, those are some upcoming events. And again, it's not on here, but on Friday, the Light the Village in Hale.
Yes,
Yay.
and December 11th is Light Up Tioga.
Tioga, right. We talked about that last week, didn't hit this list, but yes, they will be on.
I know they moved it. So
they did move it. So that's the 11th, you said?
That's the 11th.
So
that
Sunday.
one always scares me because
they
you
have
snow
Friday,
one year,
Saturday, and Sunday. I remember
and
that.
And it shut down the entire...
Yes, but they're not doing that again. Oh, and by the way, at the Ocala event, they did have ice skating for an extra $8, but it was like the size of this table, so I don't know if I'd do that. All right, let's get on. We are also celebrating the 12 days of Christmas, which I found out just now, not this week, but recently, that the 12 days of Christmas starts Christmas and goes until, and it's for the three wise men. So it goes up until January 6th, but that's okay because
now I feel less bad that
Rabell
we started
Realty
on the
Group
5th.
has been celebrating the 12 days of Christmas for years now, starting December 1st, which we started a little later, but so really what we're celebrating for you prior to Christmas are some wonderful companies in our town. The first one is Sweet Paws Bakery. What's great is we'll have a blog up by Friday, but we also have a little reel about the information about the company. I don't know if you know Sweet Paws, but it's right down the road from us in Hale, so you might be able to visit them during the village, the Light the Village, and they have great gifts for your pets and pet lovers. They're super cute. You can walk in. They literally have everything. So go by and visit when you're there. Come in, visit us, and go down and visit Sweet Paws. And then the next one is Maury Ivy and the attorneys at Scruggs, Carmichael, and Warshaw. They're actually changing their location on 43rd Street. Thanks to Jonathan, who's not in the picture currently, but he was there helping them get a new location. But if you do need legal services, especially with real estate, these are your guys. We love them. Mm-hmm. We've been using Ray and Maury for years now. So... And then do you want to talk about Halo Health since I've been taking over?
No, that's fine.
All right. Well, you all know Heather, right? Heather was on here before, and we have her at some of our events, actually many of our events with Rabell, because we do love her CBD products. I actually brought one in, the intensive relief rub. If you have any pains or aches, you can just rub it on, and doesn't smell quite as bad as some of the other products and actually works nicer. So these are great gifts as well for friends and family for Christmas. So if you are looking for CBD healthy products that are really good for you and not like drive by the gas station and grab some, but actually real ones, these are good. halohealthcbd.com. So those are 3 of our 12 companies that we say you should support this Christmas, our holiday season.
That's
Anyways,
right.
Let's take a break.
All local.
Yes, all local. Let's take a break. We'll be back to talk about the benefits of home ownership.
My name is Cecile Arce, and I'm an agent here with Rabell Realty Group. While researching local firms, Rabell welcomed me right away and made me feel like I was part of the family before I even joined. I have direct access to both my brokers, as well as an amazing support staff and several tailored marketing resources. Rabell has a very dynamic work environment. It's very welcoming, fun, and you're all constantly learning. Rabell has provided me the confidence to be a dedicated and passionate professional. I would recommend Rabell Realty to anyone looking for top-notch training, ongoing support staff, and a sense of deep camaraderie. I would recommend Rabell Realty Group to a buyer or seller looking for a dedicated professional that has ongoing training and can be accessed at any given time.
All right, we are back. Thank you. Thanks, Cece, for that great little video. We were going to now get into the advantages, the top advantages of home ownership, because there's plenty of advantages. So let me open and make sure I have everything I was written up. All right, let's get into it. The very first one, financial stability. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, homes are considered assets that typically appreciate as you own them, as long as you're maintaining them.
Right. Now, I would say one thing is, especially right now with rents going up and other things going up, if you already have a home, that is going to be a payment that you will always have. Now, maybe your utilities have gone up, your cable bill, but not your mortgage. Now, granted, if you're on an adjustable rate mortgage, you'll know when that adjustable rate changes, but most people are not on adjustable rate mortgages or have not been on. So that will always be a static number that you're paying. And that gives you some stability so you can, plan around everything else and know that this will always be the same until you sell it. And like she was kind of saying, when you go to sell, you're more than likely going to put some money in your bank so you can either buy another house or maybe buy a house comparable price and maybe an investment property, or be able to use that money for other reasons. Now, one thing I do want to say about financial stability is that you can also use your home to take out loans for other things. So mostly for home repairs and improvement. But what are some other things that you can buy with?
If you did like a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, you could buy a rental property.
There you go. Another property. So you can use your current property to buy more properties so that you can become even more financially stable. All right. Do we have any comments up about what they're saying? Nope, not yet. All right. Let's get into the next one. Well, financial strength, kind of the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's very similar. You basically, it's power in numbers. I think the more rentals or the more properties you have, the more likelihood you are that if you needed something, you could either loan those up or you'll have that steady stream of passive income,
right? And
is what everybody calls it. But if you own a property, it's not passive. You're engaged.
Right. I think that the financial strength really does have to do with being able to use your portfolio, or raise your portfolio with the current properties that you have. If you ever think about it, and when you're looking at like your financing, say you use mint.com and they say, how much are you worth? They're not just looking at your bank accounts. They're actually also looking at your properties that you own. And that builds you your total wealth, or the properties that you own. Even if it's just your one property, your home, that is still something that is considered a value, so that you look like you have a lot more strength when you are trying to buy other things. It actually creates a better credit score for you as well. especially if you're on time. Obviously, if you're not on time and you're having issues with paying on time, then you're not going to have financial strength. But this will help your credit score raise and be, a more stable one. So yeah, financial strength, everything. All right, I think that's the biggest one, right?
Yeah, but I'm really sad because a lot of these tax benefits are going away this year. So,
so we are not tax advisors. So that's why I would say we probably want to, not really get into the tax, the taxes about this, but there are property taxes, right, that you're going to save on. So granted, when if you're renting a house, you're not really paying that, but you're paying all of that for the homeowner in your rentals, right, or in your rental cost. So if that's going up, your rents might go up. So it goes back to you have this stability with the amounts not going up for your mortgage payment. But if you can deduct your repairs once you go to sell. So if you have really good records and you can show the repairs and improvements you've done on your home for the ownership of it, you actually can have some tax benefits with that. What are some of the tax benefits that are going away?
So 100% depreciation. So if I buy an investment property and I have if I gut it and redo it, basically everything except for the land use is being taken away. So you take the land out. So say I'm going to use prairie wood. So I bought prairie wood. The land is valued about $8,000 to $9,000. So you deduct that off of there. So we'll just say I'm at $55,000. So I bought it for $55,000. It is a rental. I put $20,000 into it. I was able to take 100% of that off of my taxes under the previous administration. That is going away. It expires at the end of the year. Does not look like it's going to be extended, but it was a real asset for people who are buying investment properties, so that they could not pay as much in taxes and could continue to purchase other things. There are caveats in that, like it couldn't be one singular item that was over $2,500. Labor has a different depreciation rate and set of rules, but overall it was very advantageous for people who are buying properties during these last 6 years. So.
Now, there's also some others that come and go through time, but there are some energy credits that are tax advantages and tax credits. And so you just have to see, when the years end on that and what energy tax credits there are for when you're owning your homes or your homestead or your investments. But there's always these extra credits that happen for you when you're a homeowner versus when you're just a renter. And then with mortgage insurance, you can deduct. Now, again, it all is relatable with the amounts that you can deduct, but you can deduct your mortgage insurance as well. So at the end of the year, you're going to get...
If it's your primary residence.
Your primary residence, right. So we're talking about all you have is your primary residence. You can do that as well. So you're going to get an end of the year document and it's a tax document that your mortgage company is going to send you. You can certainly turn that in to your lender or to your CPA, and they can get your tax benefits, your tax credits from that as well, tax savings. So yeah. So those are some of them. Also, if you end up using your home as an office, those are some tax, you have to do it correctly. You have to talk to your CPA, but you might have some tax benefits as a realtor if you're using your home as your office. But there are some things that hoops that you have to jump through. And I think that comment is probably relatable with any taxes that you're saving.
Yeah,
There's
because you could buy your property as an LLC and rent from yourself and get 100% depreciation. You're going to pay more on property taxes and a couple other things, but the tax advantages are better. But again, you have to talk to your CPA and see which is better for you. So, but there are a lot of ways to work through financial ideas to help save yourself some money on taxes.
And I've even read, which I didn't know, but there's points are deductible in taxes as well. So another good thing to talk about, if you're paying down points, that you can actually use that as a tax credit as well. So it's really savvy to get a good CPA to really look into this and look at your properties that you own. Obviously, if you own more than one, you probably already have one. I say obviously, but I would assume that you have more than one property. You have a really great CPA to help you with this. But there's a lot of ways, a lot of questions to ask. So home ownership is great for taxes and tax savings. So Next thing is
permanent residence. I mean, I don't know. In Gainesville, do any of us ever stay anywhere for very long? It doesn't seem that way. I mean, the idea is there if it's your forever home.
Right. I mean, the idea is, if you're renting, you're sort of at the mercy of the landlord. And, a lot of people in the last couple it's all right, Carrie, that you're late. Thanks for coming
Forgiven.
on. A lot of people, we would get calls saying, hey, I don't have a place to live. My owner, my landlord is selling because, they're going to make a ton of money selling right now. So when that happens, if you're a renter, you are at that mercy. But if you're an owner, as long as you're paying on time, right, as long as, nothing happens to your house that makes it unlivable, you can stay there and you're not forced to move. And you can move, and you can move up, you can move laterally, you can move, smaller, you can move out, you can move in. I mean, there's a lot of things when you're owning the house. And I know that you like to move a lot more than some other people. Every 3 years?
Every 3 to 4 years.
Pretty much your, status quo. So, but what do? You look at that as your home as an investment. So oftentimes you're using that to build your investment portfolio. But maybe you bought a big house, then you decided, I don't need this big of a house. You moved to a smaller one. You've been renting for a while so that you can hold money and so that you can buy, and then sometimes you sell your investments and then you can hold that money to buy maybe not just one, but 2 properties, 3 properties. So yeah, depending on what you're looking for. So you can really use that to change around how you want to. But if you are a permanent resident and want to stay in your house for forever, you can. You do not have to worry about a landlord saying, I'm going to sell, I need you to kick you out. So that's a huge part of it as well.
Yes. And sense of community, I think that's always true. Well, it depends on how involved you are in the community, but I know there's certainly some that you feel like you're a member of the
So I did read something, and of course I wanted to have it up here, and I can't find it now, but it was all about the sense of community. So people who are homeowners more so than more of the short-term renters, because there are long-term renters when they find the right property manager who does not want to sell their properties. Your community benefits are that the real estate taxes, so this is a part of it with back to taxes, but can pay for road repair, construction, police and fire protection. I know that we could probably have another conversation about how taxes are also used to pay the people who are in the government when they decide if they want to do that. But we won't get into that. But it can help pay for parks and greenways, whatever whatever is helpful for the community. But most people who are homeowners, because they're invested in that sense of residency, are also becoming members of the community and organizations and board members and really trying to grow the community. Whether they believe in their neighbor's idea of sense of community or not, they're still invested in the community and giving back to it. So not only do they have their tax dollars going into it, but maybe they're pouring their own money into something community-wise that their heart is involved with or their mind is involved with. So that is where it comes down to the sense of community, is that it brings people together. Oftentimes in a rental situation, you're not getting to know your neighbors, but as residents of the community, when you're owning the house, you're getting to know your neighbors. You are still sharing the sugar, right? The flour. Maybe your kids are playing together because they're going to the same schools. So those are some things that I would say are sense of community.
I agree.
So these are the 5 most important reasons why you should be a homeowner, or at least celebrate your homeownership and celebrate others' homeownership. So that's what we are here as, here for you. Also is to help you find a homeownership. So if you're looking for a home or looking to sell yours to buy others, please give Rabell Realty Group a call. We'd love to help you. Oh, there you go. Buysellrebell.com. We're not giving out the big number, but that's good. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you can also share with us why you love homeownership and what has been important for you on our Facebook page. But for now, let's go on to our slides.
If you love homeownership so much that you have multiple properties, but you don't want to manage them and have the headache and stress of that, you can call K&R Property Management. We are rapidly growing and expanding both our residential and our student portfolios. But yes, if you need assistance, please give us a call today, 352-213-6410.
You know, I was talking to a financial advisor today, and he was saying 20 years ago he owned one property, and he loved the idea of owning one property, but he was so overwhelmed by all of this that he made the worst decision, and that worst decision was he sold it. And he says he wishes to this day that he would have bought 20 more and just given it to a property manager. So there you go. Don't sell it. Can hold on to it, HELOC it, buy some more and give it to us. We'll take care of it for you. If you're looking to get in real estate, or you already are in real estate and want to join a team, or just change up your company because our colors are so pretty and we have great training for you, why don't you email us, join@buysellrebell.com, or call the main office. We'd love to talk to you, tell you what we can do for you. We have lots of different plans for you. 352-559-8820.
If you can't get enough of Rabell Realty Group and the entire crew, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Google My Business, and everywhere
Twitter.
else.
We're on Twitter now.
That's
so
right.
There you go.
We need to update this.
Yeah, and if you like and subscribe to our YouTube page, we will like and subscribe to you. Just kidding. No.
We will if we can, when we figure it out.
Yes. And did you know we have a blog? We do talk about it every week. We do. buysellrebell.com/blog, and check out all of those great community businesses that we're talking about. We will have them on the blog. We'll have the little reels, the videos about them, the write-up about them. So please support local. Check out our blog. Thank you.
And if you would like to have a podcast, or you're so sorry, my voice is like totally gone. If you would like to host your own podcast, please reach out to the Fiesta Media at 352-327-5089.
You know what they say about alcohol? Takes away your voice.
You should drink some.
Just kidding. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. We'll be here next week. We do hope to see you at Light the Village on Friday. But if you can't make it, we'll show pictures, talk all about it on next week's podcast. So thank you. Happy holidays. We'll talk to you again.
Yeah, voice is just...